Hey guys, so this is not going to be like one of those regular videos. So if you're not interested in me chatting a lot, you can click off right now. I'm just warning you. Anyways, I spent the last 30 minutes trying to connect this new camera, this new microphone. It's called a Mahano mic. I got it off Amazon. It was only $20. I'll leave the link down below if you're interested. Spent 30 minutes trying to connect this new microphone to my T6i. That's what I used to film. And I was having trouble. I spent 30 plus minutes looking at videos of how to connect my new microphone, calling the 1-800 number for Canon. They did not answer because it's a Sunday. Reading up instructions on how to connect my microphone because it just would not work. Oh, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. And you know what I had to do? All I had to do was just flip this little switch up and it worked. So that crisis was averted. I got a new camera. She's sitting pretty right here on my chest, guys, because I'm trying to elevate my YouTube life game. I'm trying to be like, an official YouTuber, seeing as I've reached over 1,000 subscribers. Thank y'all for helping a sister out. So I'm trying to get my life together. I'm trying to get my content together, and I am going to get it together. So this is going to be one of those really chatty videos. I am a big history nerd. I am a big history buff. I love history. I love science. I love reading about the history. I love reading about science. I also like to watch videos and read about the royal family, specifically the monarchy in Europe, all over Europe. I think it's so fascinating. I follow this channel called Lindsay something. I can't remember her name. I love watching her videos. She does all these kind of videos. I'll leave her channel down below. And I was trying to figure out a way in which to incorporate some interesting content for my Tickle My Fancy segment on my channel. And I figured, why not talk about these things that I like to watch and make it fun and interesting when it comes to makeup. So I actually got this idea from Syrian Bailey Syrian. She does really dope investigative kind of videos, like investigative chat videos along stories, investigative chat stories along with like her makeup. So that's her channel. She does videos like that. And I was inspired by her to do something like that. So, like I said, I'm Team Meghan Markle and Prince Harry over here. And I will say that the royal family in England, they're so ratchet. They are so ratchet, guys. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. They're so ratchet. And I think they try to sell like this fairy tale, which I buy into because I'm here for it. I also think it's kind of cool to be able to like trace your family back thousands of years. That's kind of cool as well. So anyways, I was watching this video from this YouTube channel called Real Royalty, and the video is called The Queen's Worst Year 1992 Annus Horribilis. That's what she entitled it, which was basically mean that the Queen had her worst year, one of her worst year. Queen Elizabeth II, she had one of her worst years in 1992. And I will say that her family is so ratchet. It's so scandalous. It is so scandalous. It's worse than my family. And my family is very bored. And like, I'm just like, girl, whoa, like what is going on here? So I'm going to be talking about that, as well as I wanted to play in some makeup. So I have my Mercury Retrograde palette. I spoke about this. I actually really am in love with this palette. So you guys are up close and personal in my face. Welcome to my face. Welcome to my dark circles. And welcome to my pores. Anyways, I am going to be I have a little bit of foundation on. I did my moisturizer, my skincare. I'm wearing this foundation called Mocha from Sephora. I used to like this foundation, and now I think I don't like it anymore. And now I actually need some foundation because I throw away half of my foundations from the declutter videos that I've done. So I think I'm going to start with my brows first. And lately I have been using the Smashbox Jet Set waterproof eyeliner in dark brown. I've been using this on my brows. I actually kind of like it. 1 and 2, I just don't feel like buying a new brow pencil because I'm waiting for the Sephora sale. So yeah, so this is what my brows is looking like. So let's talk about the royal family and how ratchet they are. So Queen Elizabeth II of England, she has 5 children, 5 naughty children. She has 5 children, and I mean, I'm not a mom, I'm not a parent, so I don't know what it's like to raise children, but I can imagine like trying to be a really good mom and trying to be a queen is probably like so difficult, and also trying to keep all your minions, I mean your subjects, trying to keep all your subjects in tow has to be like so difficult. So in 1992, the queen had to deal with 3 of her children getting a divorce, the Buckingham Palace set on fire, and a whole host of scandal in between. And after I watched that video, I was just like, how is nobody saying how ratchet the royal family is? Like, people talk about like, we talk about like the shaquinas and the shenanigans of the world, but we don't talk about how ratchet the royal family is and how crazy they were back in the day. It's just so fascinating. Like, it's so fascinating. Yeah, so I'm trying to like fix this brow here. It's so fascinating. So yeah, so Queen Elizabeth had to deal with her, you know, alleged pedophile son, Prince Andrew, divorcing from Fergie and her scandal. She also had to deal with her eldest son, Prince Charles, being divorced from Princess Diana. Oh, Princess Diana. She was such an angel. But she also had her own issues as well. And then she had to deal with, who else? I said her daughter, Princess Anne. I believe her name is Princess Anne. Yeah, Princess Margaret is her sister. Her daughter, Princess Anne, being divorced from a man that allegedly had a daughter, or no, allegedly had a child with another woman. Like, oh my God, the scandal. The scandal. And imagine trying to deal with all of that and also be queen. I don't know. I know I couldn't do it. And as much as how I love to watch videos about the royal family and love to like think how cool it would be to be a part of the royal family, it's also like being in a gilded cage. You can't do a lot of things. Your life is basically for the public consumption. You can't get married without the parliament's approval. You can't travel. You just can't get up and travel any way you want. You have to constantly be in the public eye. You can't really do anything without like approval from the queen, approval from the prime minister. You can't really do anything. So I just find it so like fascinating. And here you are, this rich person, or these rich people, being Prince Harry, Prince Andrew, Prince William, Prince everybody, and yet your life is really not your own. It's such a tragic situation. So here's my brows. This is what I like them to look like. They actually don't look so bad. What do y'all think? So eyebrows are done. I'm gonna do my eyes. I'm probably gonna focus heavily on the Mercury retrograde palette from Huda Beauty. Mercury is about to be in retrograde. For any of you guys who are into all astrological stuff, don't know if that's a good thing or not, but you know, whatever happens in 2020, it is what it is at this point. If I could open it. All right, so I'm going to use a base. This is the ALMOND base. This is probably the only one I kept. It's kind of like a purple eggplant color. The color is totally different than what it is in the packaging. And yeah, I'm going to use that on my eyes. Let's get back to the story. So 1992 for the Queen. Let's see. Where did it all begin from this video? So the alleged pedophile, and I'm gonna put my foot on his neck because that Jeffrey Epstein documentary on Netflix, I believe those girls. The alleged pedophile that is Prince Andrew got married to Princess Fergie, and or Duchess Fergie, and Sarah Ferguson, and the British public did not like her. I mean, they liked her in the beginning because they thought she was like a breath of fresh air to the royal family. They thought she was just like what the royal family needed, in terms of like just being like a normal real person. So they all really liked her in the beginning, and then afterwards, you know, like any crazy anybody that's in the public eye, at some point people are going to turn on you, right? So I think Sarah Ferguson, she was trying to like overcompensate. You know, the royal family's always been seen as a stiff, kind of boring, basic family, and she just wanted to like be herself, basically. You know, she seemed to be the type of person that was very like outgoing, very outspoken. She speaks her mind. Sometimes speaking your mind isn't necessarily a good thing, especially when you're in certain like when you're in certain environments or around certain people. It's not necessarily a good thing. Sometimes it's not always a good thing to speak your mind. Sometimes you just need to keep that stuff to yourself. So anyways, she got married to the alleged pedophile, and I'm going to say alleged pedophile because it hasn't been proven yet. Prince Andrew. She got engaged to him. They got married, and he was in the Royal Navy, or he was in some kind of royal service. So he's never home, right? So she basically had to raise her 2 kids on her own, while doing all these, well, not on her own. I'm talking like she's like a basic single mom that doesn't have nannies and stuff. But the point is, she had to raise her kids without her husband. Let me just say that, because her husband was always away. He was a part of the Royal Navy. He was never home, and she just basically had to do all these royal engagements by herself. And unlike Princess Diana, Princess Fergie had no sense of fashion. Let's be real here. She had no sense of fashion. And like, even when I look back at, and I know it's 1990, in the early 90s, right? 80s, late 80s, early 90s. I know that the fashion sense then is totally like different now. But even when I look at Princess Diana, she was just always so stylish and so elegant. But Princess Fergie, she was just so like not, you know, she needed tips from Princess Diana. So yeah. Anyway, she had to be, you know, the princess, and she had to be herself. And I think she was just trying to overcompensate, because we all know the royal family is very basic and boring. So she was trying to like be herself and inject some life into it, but not realizing that sometimes that is not necessarily a good thing, especially when you're living in British upper class society. So anyways, they were going through problem in their marriage. Like anyone, if your husband's never home, it's gonna cause problems. They started going through problems in their marriage. I'm gonna assume that at some point he started like messing around with a bunch of different women, because he's a prince. He's a prince. He's in the Navy. He's never home. He could do whatever he wants. God knows what he was doing back then. And she, I guess, felt lonely, and she started like messing around with some billionaire. There were pictures of her like on the beach or somewhere on a yacht, like topless, and somewhere in somebody's backyard naked. And I'm just like, oh, the scandal, the absolute scandal. So they decided to I guess they were going to go get a divorce, and then they decided to work on their marriage. And then at some point they went to renovate a house, and then she like decided to like use a lot of money that she wasn't to use, and she decided to build like this big whole house. And the thing just got really scandalous and really real. And yeah, that didn't last. Next up, Princess Anne. The scandal. So yeah, Princess Anne, her baby daddy / husband decided that he was just done with this marriage, Well, he didn't decide that. He decided to go to New Zealand. I think his name was Mark Phillips. Go to New Zealand, got some other chick pregnant, fathered another child while still married to Princess Anne, who's the daughter of Queen Elizabeth. How more ratchet can that be? How more ratchet can that be? I'm going to go into Ultraviolet by this purple color here. Yeah, how ratchet is that, guys? Like, how ratchet is that? How ratchet is that? Look at that color. It's so pretty. Yeah, so he decided he was just done, and he went and fathered another child with some chick in New Zealand. Meanwhile, his wife is here, probably thinking everything is all good. And then apparently she allegedly, Princess Anne, the wretchedness, she allegedly went and had an affair with somebody else. And that is the royal family, guys. Imagine being the daughter of a queen and your husband went and had an affair and fathered a child with somebody else, and then you was just like, you know what, I'm gonna get him back when I had another affair on your own. Like, the scandal, I tell you. And the funny thing is, I don't ever like fault anybody for the things that they do within their and within the confines of their marriage. You know, Mr. Andrew Gillum, you know, I don't fault anybody for the things that they do within the confines of their marriage. I think people make their own marriage agreements of what they will do or what they think will work for their marriage. And sometimes to us, we on the outside, we think it's crazy. But you know, for them, that's what they feel like they need to do in order to preserve their family. And if that means carrying on affairs with other people, I guess that works for them. Not gonna work for me and my marriage, but you know, that's what works for them. So I'm just putting ultraviolet in the inner corners and the outer corners of my eye, guys. I want to be purple. I want to be purplified. You know? That is such a pretty color. Oh my god. I wish I had like a zoom lens. Look at that. So pretty. I'm going to make it all come together in the end. So there we go. Nice and purple and pretty. Nice and purple and pretty. So yeah, so that was what happened with Prince Anne and the scandal. Next up, Queen Elizabeth's first child and his wife, Princess Diana, Prince Charles. Mr. Prince Charles, I guess, so from my understanding from watching The Crown, Prince Charles was basically kind of forced to marry Princess Diana because the family didn't want him to marry Camilla Parker Bowles. They didn't want him to marry this girl that was, they had a love affair from when they were when they were younger. And then Prince Charles' family didn't want him to marry Camilla because she just wasn't the right girl. She just wasn't the right girl for a crown prince that's going to be king of England. So they did this whole other thing to set him up with Princess Diana. And from the beginning, you could tell he didn't really love Princess Diana. He was just doing it because, you know, you got to do what mom says because mom is the queen and you have to do and respect her wishes and do whatever is right for their kingdom, right? So he went and he got engaged to Princess Diana, and he didn't really love her. He didn't really love her. And I think it's so sad because here Princess Diana, she was 19. He was like 29 or 30, and she's thinking she's falling in love with this prince. You know, I'm going to be married to this prince. We're going to live happily ever after. He's going to love me. You know, everybody have these thoughts when they were 19, you know, thinking you're going to be so in love with this person. Meanwhile, he's like in love with somebody else. So I'm sorry guys, I'm going into Hot Mess and Vortex from the palette. I'm just going back and forth between the two of them because they're just deeper shades. Yeah, so she thinking she's falling in love with Prince Charles. Meanwhile, Prince Charles is in love with somebody else. And they got married. She went and had Prince William, which, you know, back in the day, Prince William was really hot. Like, he was really hot. She went and had Prince William, and she had Prince Harry. And meanwhile, she's married to Prince Charles, and he's still having an affair with Camilla Parker Bowles, who at the time was still married to her husband. So they were having like this little down low affair, and this is how disease carry around, guys. Like, you're sleeping with your wife, and then you're also like sleeping with your mistress, and your mistress is also sleeping with her husband. That's just too many body parts mixed up together to be like you know what I'm saying? Like, there's just too many body parts mixed up together. Yeah, so Princess Diana found out that there was 3 people in the marriage, you know, she, Prince Charles, and Camilla. And then there was some video recording that leaked from Prince Charles calling Camilla and saying that he wanted to be reincarnated as Camilla's, and this is so disgusting, guys. He wanted to be reincarnated as Camilla's tampon. He's so gross, so wretched, and so gross. So he wanted to be reincarnated as her tampon. How disgusting is that? Like, how disgusting is that? So that brought an end to their marriage. Poor Princess Diana. Yeah, so that was the scandal of 1992. This man got caught on video, not video, he got caught on recording saying that he wanted to be reincarnated as his mistress tampon. How embarrassing. Like, poor Diana. Imagine having to deal with that nonsense. Like, ugh, so gross. But on the one hand, like, I could kind of understand too, because, you know, he didn't really want to marry Diana. He just did it. There was even like a video of him saying, like, they asked him, like, are you in love with Diana? And his response was,
I suppose in love. Gross. Whatever in love means.
Whatever love means. I'm just like, bruh, can you at least pretend? So, you know, that was that. That happened. And then I think that to end the year out, Princess Diana decided to do a book with a reporter, and she released a bunch of audio tapes saying that she's not really happy, and, you know, she was like bulimic or something like that, which is so sad, because imagine being married to this man that isn't even in love with you. So sad. So yeah, that was that. That was a drama. I don't know what else to do with this eye, but I'm liking it. I'm liking it. I'm gonna put lashes on and finish it up. But let me just finish up underneath the eye as well. I'm going back into Hot Mess. And I think I'm kind of feeling like putting some glitter on, and I'm kind of feeling like putting blue in the center as well. I don't know. Yeah, so that was that. That was that for the royal family. And then the last thing that happened was a fire at I keep saying the Buckingham Palace. At Buckingham Palace. There's a fire at Buckingham Palace, and the Queen decided to, which I didn't know this. I didn't know that the British taxpayers were the one that funds certain like things that goes on within the royal family. So like each British taxpayer pay like a royal tax or something. which is a thing that's been going on for centuries. And that is what funds like the royal, I guess, travels and stuff like that. So the Queen had a fire at Buckingham Palace, and then she decided, because I think at this point, like the British public had just had enough of the royal family and their scandals. So they had a fire, and she decided to use British taxpayer dollars to refund, to rebuild the, I keep saying the Buckingham Palace, to rebuild Buckingham Palace, and the British taxpayers were not having it. And I think a thing too is that royal families always want to remain in the good graces of their subjects, because we're in modern times now, and at any time the public could be like, you know what, we don't even see the point of having a monarchy. Why not just abolish them? Okay, so this is my eyes. Everything looks very flat right now. I'm gonna put everything together, but I think I want to go into Lights Out. This fuchsia shade right here. This is in the Artist Couture Midnight Maven palette. I love these colors. I love these colors. So I'm going to put this all over my eye. I think I'm just going to use my finger. Why not? I love this fuchsia color. It's so pretty. So pretty. Oh, look at that. It's so pretty. Come up a little closer. Yeah. So that is it for the royal family. In the end, the Queen, she kind of had to like pay the money back that she used to repair Buckingham Palace, because at that point the British public was just like, we out, we're not dealing with this nonsense. Your family's a hot ass mess, pardon my language. Your family's a hot mess, and we don't want to deal with this anymore, and you're gonna fund back our money. And I believe they had to like pass a bunch of laws that state that the Queen couldn't use like taxpayer dollars for like I guess the repairs or something, and then she decided to pass a law. So in the end, we learned that the Queen has a whole host of ratchet family members in her family, and I can only imagine other stuff that probably happened behind closed doors. I just could only imagine that. So yeah, it's crazy, but I don't envy her, you know, like I do not envy her whatsoever. On the one hand, like I said, I do think it's kind of cool to be able to trace your family history back hundreds of thousands of years, and maybe if there wasn't slavery for Black people, we could probably do that. But you know, that's that. Ooh, this color is just fire. I love it so much. I feel like it's overpowering the color from the Huda Beauty palette, but I don't even care. Like, I don't even care. The point was to just mix like a bunch of blues and purples together. Yeah. So like I was saying, I think people like see the royal family and they think like the glitz and the glam, and yeah, it would be cool to have like all that money and I guess have all that adoration, but you're still living in like a gilded cage where your public move, every move that you make, because I'm sure for a normal person, like a normal person that's going through a divorce or there's any kind of scandal within their family, that's just normal. That's a part of life. But when you're in the royal family, like those scandals are multiplied by like a billion, you know, all these people around the world just watching you. It's just kind of crazy. So I think this is basically what I'm going to be left with. I'm going to put my lashes on, complete my face, and come back on because I'm trying not to make this video really long. So bear with me. Okay, so this is the final look. I actually stopped to do a bunch of different things, so that's why it looks a little bit darker in here. But anyways, on my lips I'm wearing Smoke Almonds by MAC. It's just a really nice, beautiful nude color, and I decided to line my lips with like a mauve color lip liner from NYX. I don't even know what the name is. And then on my cheeks I decided to go with Worldly highlighter from MAC, with a combination of MAC's RAISEN. This is like my favorite blush. I don't own a lot of blushes, but this is one of my favorite blushes. I love using it a lot. And then, you know, I decided to put these earrings on and my Island Girl jewelry, which you could find on my jewelry store. I'm gonna continuously promote it. So yeah, you could get this necklace on my website along with a bunch of other stuff that's on there. Very interesting. Y'all will love it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Look at the sun is like coming in because I'm like right in front of my window. Hope you guys enjoyed my little review of Anis Horribilis and the scandal that is the royal family. I do find it quite entertaining, to be honest. Not that I necessarily relish in the scandal, but I also find it very interesting that as a family they try to put on a front when in reality nothing is perfect within them. Like, nothing is perfect within them. Personally, I don't necessarily understand the need for a monarchy, and it's not that I'm like anti-monarchist. I just don't understand the need or the necessity for a monarchy. But I do understand the necessity within the British public to have that sense of tradition and that sense of continuity and so on and so forth. So I hope you guys enjoy that. I will be making more videos like this in the future because there's so much more stories I want to tell, and I'm just trying to figure out ways in which I could tell those stories and make it also kind of entertaining for you guys to watch and like relate it into like beauty kind of thing. So thank you guys so much for watching my video, and yeah, I'll see y'all later. Bye guys.